And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Garena AOV Valor Cup wildcard event between the Philippine squad, Singapore squad, and Malaysian squad to determine who will get that final slot into the grand finals happening this April. Of course, before we get into what just transpired earlier, whew, what a game.
Absolutely.
We're your casters, Arctic, and of course, Rockhard. Yeah, you were saying though, I know you want to get into that because whew, that was insane, man.
I was super happy to see what I think WIL New Era did. They did a lot of their homework.
Oh yeah.
On the fights against Resurgence, because I think they kind of watched what Resurgence did. Because Resurgence, the matches that actually Arctic here has found for them, every match that the most latest ones that they did, almost previously exclusively featured a Chognar and an Alice. And I think WIL New Era did a great job breaking that up. By picking the Chognar and just leaving a lot of Resurgence's team to other heroes, which they're not really super comfortable with, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm looking for at this point, whether or not Resurgence has that flexibility to perform, even though they don't get those proficient support picks, because that's kind of what I saw during their finals against Tamago for the Singaporean Valor Cup.
Right.
Where in that first game, they were running that triple support, transitioned them into the next game. They only got like one or two of them, while Tamago would always get what would have been much more optimal for them. So hopefully we see that kind of flexibility going into the pick and ban phase, but only time will tell, man.
And we'll have to see, because of course, Resurgence does like them supports for themselves, and we'll see if WIL New Era will recognize that they kind of have to take a lot of the supports away, either do that or pick heroes that kind of kill supports really fast.
Exactly.
Like maybe some Irie, because Resurgence loves their Irie as well. You kind of see the patterns in their picks a lot of these games, and they opt to ban out Lubu instead. That's very surprising.
I'm not really surprised by the Seniel ban though, because
Absolutely.
this is something that Tamago constantly banned from Resurgence. I think it's probably one of the reasons why they've had such power, such comfort in playing out most of their games. But looks like WIL New Era are going to be taking the Chognar away from Resurgence this time around.
Yeah, definitely a smart choice there. There are a lot of reasons why Seniel is being banned out, especially since we know that Benz is very proficient on it. First, they don't want to pick out, they don't want to leave the Chognar open. Second, having Seniel with an Alice is actually really big. It's something that a lot of teams pick up. They usually want to have the Violet supported by the Seniel and the Alice. And even though Resurgence did succeed in taking the Violet this time around, I think it's not going to have as much team. And again, they start picking off the Alice as well from Resurgence. This is just what I want to see from WIL New Era.
Exactly, just very classic. You know, you're not going to take the Alice in that first rotation. Heck, we're going to take it for ourselves. Not to mention that you also mentioned the Irie potentially being picked up by Resurgence, but it looks like WIL New Era as well going to be taking it for themselves.
What is happening?
I think this is not just a sense of WIL New Era choosing, because we know for a fact that they could play these heroes.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, having done their homework, potentially denial picks as well.
So much denial picks, like those first 3 picks for WIL New Era with the Irie as well. Absolute denial from the major playmaking heroes of Resurgence. Meanwhile, Resurgence going for the very tanky free tank lineup, flanked by a possible Laurel. If they switch over the Jinnar, I'm not 100% sure. Laurel might have been a better pick, but we will have to see. Like, will Resurgence be able to do the big engages? Because I think this is the thing that Resurgence wants. They want to go for the big picks on the tanks. They want to do the hard engages, but they will have to be a 5-man composition for this to work.
And at the same time, though, I have to agree with you there, Rockhard, because, man, everything, all these elements working for the Resurgence, probably with the exception of the Violet, of course, but, I mean, Malloc, Jinnar, the Lumber, as well as the, what am I looking for here? The Tara.
Right.
Okay. Again, pretty much just go straight in onto WIL New Era, just pretty much get that wombo combo going. But at the same time, okay, WIL New Era does have that Chognar to negate some of that, though, if ever they try to get a lockdown on the more squishier targets or the more heavier damage dealers of WIL New Era. So at the same time, though, I kind of like the balance as well coming in from WIL New Era, although they are running the risk of not having a marksman, but then again can make up for it with the damage output coming in from both the Irie as well as the Cricknack. Not to mention just the flat out base damage that the Chognar has as well, complemented supplemented with Benz on this Arthur.
That's right. The term we're looking for Will New Era here is a dive.
There you go.
Everyone's gonna want to go hard on the dive with Irie, Miggy going on this Kriknak. Again, Miggy looking like a really good shot caller for Will New Era. Once he picks out the target, it's like all the eyes of Will New Era suddenly start going on that target, and it just looks so beautiful when they collapse on members of Resurgence. But we will see. Will Resurgence have enough power to disengage and maybe pick the big fights for themselves instead?
Interesting configuration here coming in from Will New Era, though, making sure that this Kriknak is well protected from any potential invades that Resurgence could have otherwise pushed. So looks like there won't be any cheeky invades from either side so far. But man, look at the damage trade here. Right off the bat, just a little bit of a juke out between 1717 as well as Mwachi.
Yeah, you're kind of surprised, like having two tanks like gank you up. That's gonna be scary, having a mountain like Lumber go to your lane, but that won't really be super effective in this early part of the game. Of course, we all know that the power of the Lumber, the Jinner, and the Malok is kind of reliant on their ultimates. We'll have to wait for that level 4 mark. Look for that for Resurgence to start making plays once they hit the level 4 areas.
Meanwhile, it looks like Will New Era, they've been quite across this map a bit. Again, we're seeing that same configuration with Rubik's just kind of roaming about a bit, supplementing whoever he needs to, whether it be in terms of Resurgence pushing for ganks or keeping Miggy at bay. But
should be interesting. Will they pull the trigger? And apparently not, because apparently 1717 might have been calling out that he is going to start getting dove, and that will prompt Miggy to do a really quick rotation. But so far, Resurgence is taking down a lot of health from this tower, and this looks like they're gonna get taken down if Gambit does not start going in.
Yes, Gambit making it in the nick of time before Resurgence can just topple down that target.
Whoa.
But in response, great move here coming in from Will New Era, seeing very much that the numbers were just pretty much collaborating towards the top side. Hey, that pretty much leaves Abyssal Dragon open for our own taking.
That's right, Miggy level 5 on this Kriknak, looking really powerful. As long as Gambit does not get picked off here in this mid lane, they're gonna have a great time. Irie is just gonna dash up on the top lane and get as much experience as he can. 1717, of course, really good on this Irie as well. We cannot discredit that. He is known for a lot for his tanky plays last game, but he's gonna have a lot of tricks up his sleeve with his Irie pick as well.
At the same time, though, coming in from Resurgence, I really like this flexibility coming in from Mwachi, being able to run this Tara, showing adaptability based on whatever Resurgence needs, based on what composition they want to kind of run off with here. But meanwhile, it looks like Resurgence, they're very much intent on getting this first turret towards top side. It looks like they will succeed by getting that objective.
Yeah, they do recognize that Will New Era does not have much wave clear on this Irie for top lane, and they will have to pick off a lot. But speaking of picking off, this looks like Will New Era finds the Zaze on this Violet, gets first blood. Wow, picking off, man.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, and they just went for it.
Exactly, and that's probably the optimal. Yeah, so that's going to be another team fight here happening in the middle lane. Really try to go for Lucky Luck. He will manage to back away, but Miggy just goes straight in, doesn't even give a care in the road, goes straight for that dive. Watching might be the next to fall heal. Will New Era, they're keeping each other at bay.
Wow.
Resurgence, they're trying to back away at this point. Die looking very low along with ours, but looks like Will New Era will back off for now. At the end of the day, total number of kills within these past few seconds, 3-0 in favor of the Philippine squad right here.
Absolutely. Like, you have 3-0, you have Dragon, you might expect a bigger gold lead, though Resurgence making a good comeback with the gold, with the farm on the rest of the side creeps, though. I like that very much, and Will New Era is just gonna try to take off as much advantage as they want. They want to get this this Irie ramped up, because a point of power is Irie and Kriknak for the side of Will New Era. Meanwhile, Resurgence, they're not picking off the right targets as much as they should. Will New Era is you have to give credit to Will New Era. I guess they kind of juggle the aggro so well that you don't really know, you don't really see members going down. They just go to like 10% and they just like fall back off.
Exactly.
And sub tag team switch, and that's why they come up with kill leads all the time. Whoa!
Wow.
Kriknak just assassination nation on Mwachi there, and I think they're not done. Miggy goes hard on Lunky and gets taken out so easily. Dai did not even have enough time to react. He just looked at it.
Exactly, man. The action coming in once again. Will New Era being very much prevalent in terms of the rotations when going for these pickoffs. Looks like Aris is going to try to keep Will New Era from taking this Abyssal, but what can a lone Mallock do unless he can go for the Miracle Steal?
the rest of Resurgence isn't even trying to go to the center of the map. Lumber's just in the middle of the map farming because they know it's a lost cause. Aris is just gonna have to be relegated to just stay off on the side, just try to get as much experience as they can. And so far, again, the gold leads start to build up here for Will New Era.
What I love about what Will New Era is doing is they're making sure that whoever is going to have a better transition for Resurgence into later parts, they make sure to keep in check. And at the same time, the outside, we're going to see another fight. Ben's taking quite a bit of damage from Lunky right here. Lunky first kill. Yes, Lunky succeeds in getting the kill, but he's going to go down himself. Meanwhile, Will New Era, they're going to try to chase down the rest of Resurgence, who are currently on the run for their life. That will be a little bit of a hold on to Aris and Dai, but Mwachi is within the vicinity. Both sides will back away for the meantime, 1-for-1.
That's right. They look like they're out of fuel, Will New Era. It's just that Dai missed a really crucial Lumber ultimate, and I think that caught a lot of the members of Resurgence off guard. I think they wanted to go all in, but then at the last second they had to back off because of that missed ultimate. Right now, Will New Era will have to just go for 1-for-1 on that one, and so far so good for Resurgence. If they can keep this up, their composition can become really invincible at the later part of the game. But I think Miggy wants blood right now, and I think the rest of Resurgence, they're just waiting for Will New Era to make a mistake. I think that's what they're trying to do so much in these games. They're waiting for the other team to make a mistake, which Will New Era absolutely isn't as much. So far, that last kill, it looked like Benz was about to go out, actually.
Yes.
And that was just a fall-off damage from one of the damage over time. But so far, Will New Era playing an immaculate game. In my opinion.
And you got to give kudos right here, because as far as who is spearheading the fray once again for Will New Era, look at Miggy sitting at a 303, 100% kill participation thus far. And we've pretty much seen a great demonstration of Miggy on this Zephys. Probably don't want to get him going on this Cricknack either, but that's exactly what's happening. And just all the proactivity in the world once again from Will New Era. Total command as far as rotations we're seeing from them across this map. Abyssal Dragon is up again, so this might be another potential point of contest here
Let's
for
see,
both sides.
though. It looks like Will New Era is just gonna try and see if they can zone out Dragon. And I like what Will New Era does. They don't let Dragon control over at any point of the game so far. They just want to, even though they're outnumbered a lot, they just send Rubik's in to try and damage out and poke out people who are trying to start the Abyssal Dragon until such time that the rest of Will New Era is in position to take it.
Meanwhile, looks like Will New Era, they're going to make a move here for Abyssal Dai. Is going to try to keep Will New Era from keeping them at bay. Aris going to go in, go for the dive. Abyssal Dragon is still up. It looks like Will New Era going to turn around to go straight for Dai, as well as Lunky. Lunky, the rest of Resurgence, they're trying to back away. Miggy is the lone read here. He's going to get taken down. Unfortunately, the rest of Will New Era, they weren't on the same page there. They were starting to back away. Miggy, though, still wanted in on that fight.
Absolutely. I was just commending Miggy for being a great shot caller, and I was just about to say that it looks like Will New Era gave the trigger to Miggy, like the trigger finger is on Miggy, but so far, that call was not synchronized whatsoever. That's going to lead to Resurgence taking their first dragon in this series, and they must feel really good about that. Gold lead is just at 1K at this point.
Yeah, unfortunate miscalculation there coming in from Will New Era. And that's what you've been talking about earlier, Rockhard, wherein once Resurgence seeks that moment of opportunity where Will New Era makes that mistake, they're going to capitalize on that so heavily. And that's what happened to Miggy right there. Unfortunately, that's a shutdown on this Cricknack right there. But we're going to see a convergence onto Rubik's as well as Miggy and Benz, though. Going to go for the response. Turret does go down. Lucky is going to go for that front line, dealing quite a bit of damage, but looks like Gambit actually coming in from the back line. Resurgence are on the run for the lives. Miggy, wow, it's even after being taken down earlier, deals so much damage.
Absolutely. Like, there you go. That's what we want to see from this team of Will New Era. They want to have the trigger finger on the right spot, and I think I like the play that Resurgence wanted to do. They sent Aris in with a Malik ultimate just to provide zoning, and they just wanted to disengage as soon as possible once they got that global gold. It's just that Will New Era recognized that this is a possibility for a takedown, and they did go for it. They did not go empty-handed from that one, but so far Resurgence closing the gold gap and the item gap as well so far, and I think they want to go for it again. Miggy goes for Dai, but Dai will have that dash out and just manage to get himself out safely. Resurgence's composition is looking really good. I think the tanks are doing the work that they need to do, except for Muachi. Gets taken out by 1717. On that solo top lane, gives over tower as well.
That one exception right there just happening right on the dot. But
just when I was about to commend your tanks for doing their jobs, you get picked out. But I think that was more of a power play for Will
Oh, yeah,
Nuira, right?
definitely.
Like they really wanted to take the pick, and they recognized that Mwachi was kind of alone in this. A lot of the members of Resurgence was in the middle part of the map, and they do recognize that. That's what I like about Will Nuira. They recognize points of weaknesses on the side of Resurgence, and I think they're capitalizing on that really well so far.
Yeah, not a bad move coming in from the side of Will Nuira here, because if you're going to look at where Mwachi's at right now, sure, he has that gold lead, but at the same time, where he is right now as far as soaking up damage, not quite there yet, but looks like we're going to see a fight for the Abyssal Dragon. That's going to be Benz taking down Dai. The rest of Resurgence looks like they're on the run, especially Lunky. He wants to get out, but Miggy just devours him. Meanwhile, Zace, he's trying to kite around Benz, but Benz really intent on taking him down. Looks like Benz going to hold up a bit, but Miggy just going to go straight out for the vibe, and he takes him down. That Crick Knight is getting quite well fed.
But we're not done yet. So far, Will Nuira is trying to go disengage, but no, Aris, instead of going for the kills, gets taken out instead as well. Great reaction there from Will Nuira. And wow, the steal. The Abyssal Dragon steal was absolutely huge for Will Nuira. They thought that Resurgence kind of felt really confident going into that Dragon Pit, but I think so far Will Nuira just picked off the right moment to abuse the positional mistakes that Resurgence had on that Abyssal Dragon, and they took gold and killed for themselves.
And what's kind of unfortunate here is that earlier we saw signs of fight in Resurgence wherein they were balancing out the game, but it was more of a pick-off, a small consolation prize when they were able to get Miggy and as well as Benz. But in the greater scheme of things, whether or not they kept Miggy at bay, that wasn't quite the case. And if anything, it just puts Miggy back on track here with where he's at on the Skriknak. If anything, he still hasn't dropped that 100% kill participation, man.
Absolutely.
So,
so absolutely, we're still looking at Skriknak Miggy as the big playmaker here for Will Nuira. Once he dives in on one of them, just expect the rest of Will Nuira to be really close behind him. And so far, so good. It's working out for them. They're going through the triple tank lineup of Resurgence really easily, diving on the tanks themselves. Look at this.
Yes, Aris, he's just going to get straight dove on by the members of Will Nuira, but the rest of Resurgence easily make that response right there. Unfortunately, Malak is going to have to suffer as a casualty. Dai is doing what he can, but he's going to fall as well. The damage is just too overwhelming along with the utility, and I think that is such a shame. If you're going to look at potential angles of comeback for Resurgence, I mean, look at Lunky. He's 151 on this Jinna, but even though he might have the most deaths, it's with very good reason. It's because he knows that he could deal a lot of damage, and I think it was a clear demonstration earlier from these fights. It's just that he doesn't have the I don't think the teamwork is quite there for Resurgence for them to actually utilize that damage coming in from Lunky right now. Not just Lunky, but also
Ooh, the
Zace.
Dragon Steal. Whew, that was great. That was actually really good.
Not bad.
That was big for Resurgence to just get some of that gold. I was just about to say that the gold lead is going way out of hand, and they got some of that. But again, like what you were saying, Lunky on this Jinna, absolutely, that's all those skills are absolutely because they wanted to pull a trigger on a lot of the fights. It's just that Resurgence's tanks are starting to fall off so easily because of the Cricknack plays, because of how soft tanks suddenly become when they face the wrath of the Cricknack.
Yeah, and if you're gonna look at itemization here for Miggy, but I'm gonna hold down from that point right there. As Zace looks like he's gonna get straight at dove on. They know that he is the squishier target right here. Meanwhile, looks like the rest of Resurgence, they're trying to scatter Mwachi as well as Aris will have to hold back as the rest of Will Nuira. No casualties from their side. This is gonna be a massive siege from the Philippine squad right here.
Well, absolutely. Will Nuira just picks off Violet first off on the back, and that's the problem with picking off compositions like this for Resurgence. When you put all your power in one card, you make sure that card does not fall off, and you make sure that you have the ability to support those cards. Otherwise, this is going to happen. Mwachi gets taken out under tower. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Miggy with a legendary.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about right here. These tanks are falling way too fast.
Like dominoes.
Exactly, and that's not what they should be doing, considering that they want to try to make Zace the star here. But how can you do that if you fall way too early on onto the hands of Will Nuira? But looks like Will Nuira, they're looking to go for the picture-perfect finish right here. That's going to be the first casualty in the form of Benz. Will Nuira, are they pushing the boundary a bit too much here? They're trying to go for the squishier targets, but looks like they very much can. Miggy is just, well into this, but he's gonna go down in exchange. Oh, he actually lives until the tail. Actually has the Ancestral Glory for the save.
And I think he just wanted to do that to take up as much time as possible from Resurgence. Aris, the lone defender on this Malak, he wanted to just take advantage of the Aris on that position, have him stay there, and maybe let the bottom lane and the top lane push. It's just that they didn't have enough firepower in the end there, but that was a really cute play from Will Nuira.
Wow. I mean, even with the odds against them, I mean, they were taking charge damage towards the top. Resurgence just fighting in their own area, but still, casualties pretty much in the heavier part of Resurgence there.
That's right.
So, not the best position to be in. And once again, we're seeing Resurgence caught in a scenario wherein they're somewhat limited once again because of this turret take in the mid lane, all the way leaving it very much open and vulnerable. But Gambit, okay, just going to keep Resurgence at bay again.
Is that a tank that just did that? That was a lot of damage on the Jinna with Gambit on this Chognar. Amazing plays there. They're gonna take. They have absolute control over the rest of the towers. There's no gold coming into Resurgence as of the moment. It's so hard for them to get just a teeny tiny bit of gold. And right now, Will Nuira is just picking off members one by one.
Yeah, Moachi, he's just gonna try to back away there, but that's 3 members of Will Nuira that are converging onto him. Quite tanky though. He is surviving quite a bit of damage, but I don't think he's gonna make it in time to actually make the escape. Oh, actually goes over the wall. He's still on the run. That's gonna be the rest of Resurgence supporting him, but Gambit, actually gets the final kill right there. Looks like Will Nuira, they're going to try to finish things off. Lunky caught in the middle of the fight. He has quite a bit of damage, but will it be enough? No, that's going to be Will Nuira going for the full convergence. Aris might be the next to fall here. Will Nuira, they're quite intent, but Mickey goes straight for that Violet. He takes it down, and looks like this may be the game, ladies and gents. Aris, he's holding on for dear life here. Ben's going straight in on him. He's taking hits from the core. He's going to go down, but that's still 3 members of Will Nuira up and kicking Aris. He's trying to salvage the core right here. Will it be enough, though? Gambit, 1717, as well as Rubik's, just go straight for that core. Wants to go for the finish. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a clean 2-0 in favor of the Philippine squad. Congratulations, Will Nuira.
Absolutely. Will Nuira just displaying so much amazing talent. Once you have Miggy on that Crickneck, apparently this is a huge pick for him. He starts going on the Violet. So many of these fights, he just looks for the Violet. He doesn't even care if he gets pinned down or if he gets like super damage into his body. He just needs to go for this Violet. And I think that's why the Violet was not as effective as he should have been. Again, look at the scoreboard for that. Crickneck, Miggy, 15, 3, and 8. Oof. And he just goes, this looks like almost 100, like a huge kill participation for this Crickneck. Amazing, amazing. Almost 100%. 23 kill participation over 25. That's just off the charts.
In all fairness to Resurgence, though, I like the idea behind their composition. By textbook, just make sure that you protect that Violet. Try to get it to scale into the later parts. Lunky as well. He was dealing quite a bit of damage on this year. It's just that, again, like I mentioned, the front line that you're supposed to utilize to keep these carries alive and kicking just didn't fall through for Resurgence. I like the composition on paper, just wasn't able to execute. If anything, Will Nuira executed way better, living up to their win conditions.
Absolutely. 31% damage to heroes on that. He's just not getting as much of the last hits that he likes, but it's working out so well so far for Will Nuira, despite having again, as you say, they look like it looked like Resurgence had a great composition, like you could say a better one. A lot of their picks did get stolen off of them, and I think they were not able to react accordingly. And I think that's just, again, drafting. I kind of gave it already to Will Nuira, and then they played the map so well.
Exactly.
That's one thing. Another thing, and then cherry on the top, they just stopped the composition of Resurgence here with stopping the Violet. That's just so big. That just leaves free tanks that don't really do as much because they didn't have anyone to protect. The one that they wanted to protect was actually so behind on items already that they didn't really, everything they did on the map, it didn't really count as much.
So there you have it, guys. That was, man, the first match right off the bat, hitter in the wild cards. Quite an impressive display right there from Will Nuira. But question here, Rockhard, is can they build up the momentum? Because going into match 2, they'll be taking the stage once again, this time against the Malaysian squad that is going to be M8 Hexa Alpha. So quite the interesting game that we have next. But for the meantime, we'll be taking a quick break. So we've been your casters for now. Arctic at your service. With me is Rockhart. Once again, we'd like to welcome you all to the Garena AOV Valor Cup Wildcard event. See you guys for match 2. Make He just goes straight in, doesn't even give a care in the world, goes straight for that time. Watching might be the next to fall here. Where they're keeping each other at bay.
Wow.
Resurgence, they're trying to back away at this point. Die looking very low along with ours, but looks like it's on their group. Back off well. It's Miggy and Benz though. Gonna go for the response. Turret does go down. Lucky is going to go for that front line, doing quite a bit of damage, but looks like Gambit actually coming in from the back line. Resurgence are on the run for the eyes. Miggy, wow, it's even after being taken down earlier. Not there yet, but looks like we're going to see a fight for the Abyssal Dragon. That's going to be Benz taking down Die. The rest of Resurgence looks like they're on the run, especially Lucky. He wants to get out, but Miggy just devours him. Meanwhile, Zace, he's trying to kite around Benz, but Benz really intent on taking him down. Looks like Benz going to hold up a bit, but Miggy just going to go straight out for the vibe, and he takes him down. That Brick Knight is getting quite well fed.
But we're not done yet. So far, Will New Era is trying to go disengage, but no, Aris, instead of going for the kills, gets taken out instead as well.
That he is the squishier target right here. Meanwhile, looks like the rest of Resurgence, they're trying to scatter Wachi as well as Aris will have to hold back as the rest of Will New Era. No casualties from their side. Way too early on onto the hands of Will New Era, but looks like Will New Era, they're looking to go for the picture-perfect finish right here. That's going to be the first casualty in the form of Benz. Will New Era, are they pushing the boundary a bit too much here? They're trying to go for the squishier targets, but looks like they very much can. Magus just well into this, but he's gonna go down in exchange. Oh, he actually lives it though. The tail actually has the ancestral glory for the save.
And I think he just wanted to do that to take up as much time as possible from Resurgence. Aris, the lone defender on this map.
Supporting him, but Gambit actually gets the final kill right there. Looks like Will New Era, they're going to try to finish things off. Lunky caught in the middle of the fight. He has quite a bit of damage, but will it be enough? No, that's going to be Will New Era going for the full convergence. Aris might be the next to fall here. Will New Era, they're quite intent, but Mickey goes straight for that Violet. He takes it down, and looks like this may be the game, ladies and gents. Aris, he's holding on for dear life here. Benz going straight in on him. He's taking hits from the core. He's going to go down, but there's still 3 members of Will New Era up and kicking Aris. He's trying to salvage the core right here. Will it be enough though? Gambit 1717 as well as Rubik's just go straight for that core, wants to go for the finish. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a clean 2-0 in favor of the Philippine squad. Congratulations, Will New Era.
Absolutely. Will New Era just this